All right, everybody, thanks for joining again on one of our little discussions. Today, we're going to start a new series that we're going to call The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Basically, first of all, I watch too many Westerns. And secondly, being in the ad business, we see a lot of ads. And also, I'm probably going to cut this part. As users of social media as well as advertisers, we see quite a bit of ads as well as make quite a few of them. So, just in our personal lives, we come across all kinds of wacky ads. Some are good, some are bad, and some are fucking shit terrible. So we thought we'd kind of take some time to discuss what makes a good ad and kind of just review all of these different ads that we see. And hopefully you as the listener can take that and kind of learn to make great ads for yourself as well. The first one we're going to start with is something that I actually thought was a great ad in terms of just kind of communication. So, what we like to see in an ad is really clear value propositions. What are you selling me? What is the value proposition? What the heck is it that you're doing, right? So, let's pull this guy up. Where'd he go? Oh, there it is. So this is the ad. We're just going to take a quick look at it because it's nice and short. So yeah, I mean, like it's really straightforward, right? It's a phone charging cable that cleans up after itself. I mean, John, Corey, there's no confusion with you guys on that, right?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a super clean ad for a product that is meant to clean up your desktop or car console wherever you use it. It is really straightforward. It's like it's a simple product, brilliant product, and they are trying to hit you with a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
technical features and value propositions. It is just visually showing you the value proposition, how easy it functions, how it functions just like a regular cord without the mess. And there's no confusion as to what the product is. It's a really clean, nice ad.
Yeah. Corey, what are your thoughts? Do you see anything kind of interesting going on in there? Or?
It solves a pretty good problem. I know when I got my new phone, got a new charge cable in my car, and it's all over the place. I try and wrap it around the four-wheel drive stick
Oh,
and
yeah, I
stuff
do that too.
to keep it
Yeah.
at bay. And I think, yeah, it solves a good problem, and
Yeah,
it's
and I think
cool for them. Well,
it
just money
shows the
wise.
solving of that problem like really easily, right? Because we've got shots of like
Hmm.
this tangled mess of cables, and then of course you've got like the nicely coiled up cable. So uh, identifying the problem, showing that your problem solved, that your product or service solves that problem really concisely, and just like no BS, right? Messy cable, not messy cable. That will be $25, please, right? Really simple.
Easy execution for them.
For sure. Yep.
They
I don't know.
also, one
Any
other
thoughts? Like,
thing,
what can we? Sorry, go ahead, John.
I was just going to say one other thing is they didn't clutter the video with a bunch of text overlays or any fancy
Mm-hmm.
graphics or anything. It was just really straightforward. This is what the product looks like. This is how it functions. It has one main value proposition of keeping your desktop clean while fulfilling its actual function. So they didn't do any logos or text call outs or anything like that. Like really simple.
Yeah, and I think what makes that a great ad, just simple, clear communication. Don't overthink it. All right. Now let's go to an ad that I think is kind of bad. The product in question is this little guy here. And it's like this magnetic thing that you slap onto the side of your car, and it just kind of provides like a touch point for you to lean stuff up against your car. Now, here's the thing. Well, let's get your guys' feedback. What do you think so far?
It's confusing at first glance. I certainly would have no idea what this was trying to show. I mean, I would think that it was a ski ad.
Yep.
And really, like, I see what they did with the muted colors, with the product being like the clear black strip and everything else dulled down.
Oh, I
But
didn't even
it,
notice that.
yeah, but everything else in it, there's just way too much going on because your eye is drawn up to the ski hill, it's drawn to the rest of the parking lot, it's drawn to the skis, it's drawn to everything else on that truck. I mean, it's not clear what this ad is for, and the image is just entirely too cluttered.
Yep. Yep.
I agree.
Corey, any thoughts or anything to add?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with John. And I think maybe video for this would be better to translate
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
what
And
it is.
for this product specifically, I have seen their video ads, and the video ads are fantastic, right? So, here's props to Rig Strips. Their other ads are good. This one is just kind of on the confusing side. I think conversely, I mean, they're kind of doing a good job of showing what the product does, although it just takes you a minute to figure out what the heck is going on. And then, of course, within the context of social media, you don't have that luxury of the customer, spending the time to investigate your ad and like, oh, what is that? And right, they're going to scroll right past it, and you're not going to get the click. So with that context, it's really important to communicate clearly, and this ad doesn't quite do it. Now,
If
the
they did
thing.
something, oh, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was going to say, now I guess, I would give this ad maybe a C minus rating. And the only thing that saves it is a copy. Because if you click into the copy here, it explains what the product is. And so you're like, oh, okay, that's what it is. You can click through and figure it out. Sorry, you were saying that?
Well, I was just going to say, like, if an advertiser is in the situation of wanting to run a static image ad and not having great photography, which I would say this is not great photography, what you
Mhm.
could do to save an ad like this is bring in more branding elements and even a text overlay saying like what the problem is. Like if you put, what's the name of the rig strips?
Yep.
Like if you did a rig strips logo like up above over the ski hill, so that
Mm-hmm.
could serve like double purpose of cleaning up the image and getting the branding hit on there, and also kind of focusing the mind of the user on, okay, rig strip, I must be looking for some sort of strip that you put on your rig. Oh, there it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
And you could also, even take it a level deeper than that and just a brief one liner of what this product is, like, protection for your rig or something, just like a byline or something underneath. So put the logo at the top, byline underneath. It instantly cleans up a lot of the clutter in the ad, tells you what the product is a lot clearer, and also would frame the product really nice too, like right in the
Yep.
center.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you had to use this image, you could potentially save it with some design elements and copy for sure. So.
And with that, I was thinking about it goes back to the planning process where you're going to make photos. So before you,
Mm-hmm.
like the pre-production of things, before you go out, we're going to need a few vertical images for Instagram ads. So
Yep. Yep.
to reconfigure this image, do it in a different spot that maybe isn't a crowded, like the end of the parking lot that maybe isn't so crowded. Don't have the grill down in the background on the
Mm-hmm.
tailgate.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe take the strip or take the boards off the side of the rack, take the spare tire off, only have one pair of skis. And for an ad like this, maybe a slightly closer up image that shows all the strips with maybe just one pair of skis. And then you could have the logo front and center or like at some point in the image. And maybe then you don't have to use the logo like John was saying, but then
Yep.
you could put a tagline that says like protect your paint or quit leaning your skis on your paint or something like that. Or
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then if we're going to compare this to the previous video ad, right, this kind of shows the product in kind of its solution state. conversely, it's like if you don't have one of these, your skis are going to be laying all over the parking lot, which of course I've done. So I understand the problem that it's trying to solve, but we're just kind of not communicating that amazingly here. So.
Or even splitting it and having like half of the image being the top half with the strip and a pair of skis, and it's protecting the paint, and then another one showing a ski laying up a bare, even the same vehicle, just the bare paint.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this one's also pretty straightforward. And, again, I'd kind of give it a C rating probably. From the 106 likes, apparently people are clicking on it. So maybe it's working on retargeting. But yeah.
It does solve a problem.
It certainly does. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to what I think is a god-awful ad. So this is an ad that I found on Twitter. John, let's start with you. What's your opinion here?
Really, take a look. First of all, it's just got a lot going on it. You've got a title and headline. You have, at least for a static image ad, you have a lot of text. And you have a CTA, and then you have an image. That, I mean, I guess
John, for the folks in the cheap seats, what's the CTA?
CTA is call to action, so the learn more box there.
Right.
And then,
which you can't even click on.
Exactly. And then the image of the gentleman there, who I suppose is supposed to be, an employee or somebody who would provide this service. I don't know. That's very, very confusing. And the other thing, the headline at the top: enable robust security without sacrificing performance. Connect and protect without compromising performance with a security-first AI-powered network. I have no idea what this service is. Clearly, it's security.
Right.
What is this security for? Is it security for your home? Is it security for an online network, your personal data? Like, what are they selling security for? There's just way too much going on, and the message is confusing, and it tells you next to nothing about the product or service.
Yeah, absolutely. And, conversely, comparing against, the other two ads that we saw, like, I remember the reason that I pulled this one up is because when I saw it in my feed, I immediately said, what the hell are you selling? I don't even know. I mean, it's possible that HPE Green, like maybe there's some kind of like industry acronym. So if you target this really narrowly to a certain like industry, maybe. But yeah, again, I don't know what the hell you're selling. And if it is like super industry specific, then your targeting is probably bad, because why did I get this ad? So yeah, there's a lot there. Corey, you got anything to add?
We got the AI buzzword again here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. No idea what it's for.
From edge to cloud. So they got the cloud computing, the old buzzword in there.
Okay, but that does kind of clear up a little bit more of what this security is for. But then again, what would that be in an X ad, Joe? Would that just be like the description?
Oh, that bit, man, I don't know where.
Or maybe that's just something
on the ad.
Yeah, well, if that's built into the image, I could go on about that too. It's
just like a generic brown guy, so yay for diversity. But like, I mean, like, who is he? Why is he smiling? Like, is he your network security guy? I don't know. But
yeah, it's just not informative, and it's way too busy. It's almost like they had no creative ideas, no way to tell the story about their service or brand. So they did, what most people would do, and just kind of word vomit a lot of stuff onto an ad and say
Yeah.
like, oh, well, we gave them a lot of information here, and there's nothing on there that makes me want to click to find out more. It's just a bit too much going on.
Okay. All right. So let's try to be constructive here. Like, how would we fix this? I mean, maybe we should figure out what the heck it is that they do first. Let's go to is it hpe.com? Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Okay.
Wow, it's Hewlett Packard. Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, it's computer stuff. HPE GreenLake. All right, let's click on this. Let's figure out what they're selling. All right, it brings the cloud experience to all of your IT. Unlike private, public cloud, deploy and manage resources across your private and public clouds while retaining control of your data. Okay, so this seems like some kind of enterprise, like
Encryption.
network security thing, right? So I don't know too much about this kind of thing anymore. They're using AI. I don't know if I would even bother with that. It's such a buzzword these days.
It is
I
a
mean,
buzzword, but if it's a key feature of the product.
yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you just said like hybrid cloud network solution, I mean, there's a lot of buzzwords in there too, but I think your target market would probably understand that. And you wouldn't be just like, what is your product at all, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would just narrow this down to just cloud network security or your cloud network security solution. I mean, just
Yeah.
make it really clear what it is. And again, this is a good instance where I would argue for a little bit more text in the image itself, because you know there's really no way to just visually show a product like this.
Yep. Yeah, and to give them a little bit of credit, it is really difficult to communicate clearly about really technical, like B2B products with, features that are complicated. But I mean, it takes a little bit more work, but something like protect your data with HPE GreenLake,
There you go.
Yeah.
right?
Tell me like I'm 5.
Exactly. Yeah. Explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. Because I mean, frankly, like when it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm not that technical, so I might as well be a 5-year-old. But yeah, really kind of like simplifying, talking about, we're always talking about the 1/4-inch hole, not the 1/4-inch drill bit, right? So what am I going to receive as the benefit from the product or service? Yeah, and just kind of keeping things focused that way. So.
That lower line of copy in that image that almost looked like a pop-up text, that text should have maybe been put into the body of
Probably at the top,
ad
yeah.
itself.
Yeah, because I think your target market for something like this kind of knows what cloud computing is. So you could say something to the extent of like, secure your cloud computing infrastructure, right? And like, okay, if that's a cloud computing thing, I, as a layperson, would look at that and be like, that's not for me, goodbye. Whereas, someone who's like an IT admin would look at that and be like, that's for me. Let me go click on this ad. So, yeah, John, you had anything to add?
I don't think so. I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think this is our first crack at this kind of content. If you liked the discussion and had some fun with us, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And then we're going to try to do this about once a month. Thanks for joining in, and see you next time.